Morning, everybody. It is 8:11 a.m. and it's January 27th. Welcome to my channel. Boy, these markets are nuts, right? Big week, big, huge week coming up. And before the week even starts, we have the markets down, gapping down. Now, it's so funny because on Friday, I think it was, I saw news about this China Deepseek AI. And I was like, this is very interesting. And then I saw that it was developed in 2 months. It only took 6 million, and they used old Nvidia chips. And supposedly it's on par with ChatGPT and the other artificial intelligence programs, right? They call them LLMs. And now it's cheaper, and it's also now the number one app downloaded on the Apple App Store. So this is causing concern for the rest of the markets, right? Because you have Trump just did Stargate for $500 billion, right? So who knows if this is true about the China DeepSeek? If it really was made with 6 million, if it really was only developed in 2 months, who knows? But the markets are reacting, right? So now that we got that out of the way, my lord, we have FOMC this week. We have earnings this week, and the earnings are big. Mag7 earnings to be exact. We got a couple of monsters, right? We got Apple, we got Tesla. Um, it's just a big, big week for earnings. It's pretty nuts. Give me one sec. I'm gonna actually pull that up here, and just to show you guys in a little bit, we'll talk about it. So pretty monster week because we have FOMC on Wednesday. Huge earnings all week. We just had this huge news with China DeepSeek. Then we have core PCE on Friday. Big, 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 big. We'll talk about the earnings later, but just some notables here. We have Boeing, GM, Starbucks, Royal Caribbean. I'm just going to name big ones: ASML, T-Mobile, Meta, Tesla, IBM, Lam Research. Who else? UPS, Mastercard, Nokia, Caterpillar. What else? Atlassian, KLAC, Visa, Intel, Apple, Exxon, Mobil, and Chevron. Just a monster week. All right, just a monster week of that. I mean, this. I mean, then you have Colombia refusing to take illegals back, and then Trump threatening. It's just what a weekend, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, so without further ado, all right, let's just start this off here. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and buying profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. All helps me find structure in the markets. That's my edge. And this is how I like to look at data, right, on my charts. And all the data, all the levels get reactions. It's not a surprise. That's why I keep them on my charts. Anything that doesn't get a reaction is not there. Okay? Now, hopefully, you can join me every day. All right, do this every day. I'll give you the market recap, the market news, the economic calendar, the leaders and laggards, the story of the markets. Okay, and then once that market opens up, right? There's new data. Now, at around 8:30 a.m., I do Nasdaq and ES analysis, futures analysis, and I give you guys long and short trade scenarios. Now, when the market opens, it's new data. Don't know what it's going to be, but combine the trade scenarios with the new data. I decide if I want to put risk on and come up with a game plan with the new data, right? If I have a trade and it's educational, I will post it to my YouTube shorts. Okay, I will post it. And I owe you guys a video from a trade I did last week. Very frustrating day for me on Friday. had a game plan, can literally show you in Discord what I wanted to do. Might even do that a little later. And I did it. The trade wound up getting beautiful excursion. And then I was like, okay, I'm not taking any off yet. I really like this. And it nipped my entry by 2 ticks. And then it rolled over. Very disheartening when that happens. It's just trading, but it's just like, oh my God, I waited all day for that. And that's just trading. It sucks. But analysis was on point. That's what's important. Okay. Now, I will post that on my YouTube shorts, like I said. Also, X at Gonzo719. All right. You can also follow me on TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. All right. Now, I am starting a community called Confluence Trading on Discord. Please join. Okay. I want to make my content throughout the day more accessible and have more interaction with other traders and people just interested, right? So please go to my homepage on YouTube, click the link, come in, join, and I'm trying to start a community there, right? I'm trying to give more content, more interaction with myself. There's a bunch of stuff there: options trades, gamma levels, my market internals, my commentary throughout the day. Um, Come join, right? Even chat amongst yourselves and ask me questions, right? So I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff with the channel, educational, you know, a bunch of stuff, right? The more people join, the more content I can create and I have interactions, all right? So please join that. And of course, if you enjoy my content, you can wait now or do it later, smash that like button. That would be amazing. All right, let's get into features watch list here. Let's do this. Let's see what's moving markets. Whoa, 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 whoa. The VIX is up 39.39%. All right, we're over a 20 VIX. I expect volatility today. All right, 30-year bonds. This is scaring people. People are buying bonds. 30-year bonds up 1.08%. The dollar is down 0.33. Gold down 0.49. The Dow down 0.68. Crude down 0.68. The Russell down 0.92. Silver's down 0.96. 10-year yields getting hammered today. Good morning, Pancake. 10-year yield getting hammered today. Looks like we're getting a little fear in the markets. People want to cash in on some of these bond yields, right? 4.5 yield, not bad, 10 years, right? And then if you see with the China Deepseek AI that it's not as expensive, this is a problem for the Mag7. So, and again, no one vetted this thing to know if it only took too much. It only cost 6 million. We don't know. But right now it's scaring markets. All right, ES down 2.03%. The Nasdaq's down 3.47%. Woo. Bitcoin down 3.75%. Ethereum down 6.34%. Let's look at those Mag 7s. All right, let's look at those Mag 7s here. Apple. Apple's up 0.1, 0.19, 0.15. Berkshire Hathaway up 0.12. That's the only. Now we're going to go with 1%ers only. Netflix down 1.49. Meta's down 1.71. Tesla's down 2.65. Yes, Nvidia got slammed. Coinbase down 2.70. Google down 3.32. Amazon down 3.39. Microsoft down 3.53. AMD down 3.83. Broadcom down 10.93%. Nvidia down 11.41%. Now, Nvidia is getting slammed. Okay. And there's two things. People are saying like this could still be good for Nvidia. Still need to use their chips, right? But then other people are saying because they said they used old chips, old GPUs to use to create this AI, to run AI, it's like, so why are we spending so much money on these Blackwell chips? So that's where it's like weird, right? Anyway, move on. Top sector stocks. All right, so now you can see what happens in our markets when there's some fear. All right, look at the leader, Procter and Gamble. Good morning, G-Man. Procter and Gamble up 1.15%. Hey, sorry guys. All right, Procter and Gamble. Johnson and Johnson, another. People go to healthcare. People go to healthcare. Up 0.97. Walmart up 0.87. PepsiCo, 0.72, right? These are the staples. Healthcare, up. United Healthcare, up 0.38. Visa, people always got to have a credit card, right? I'm surprised Qualcomm's up. Interesting, right? McDonald's is another staple. Like, even though it's discretionary, people always eat McDonald's. So this is like some of those things, right? Now let's look at some laggards here. We got Morgan Stanley down 0.59, Salesforce down 0.71, Goldman Sachs down 0.77, Uber down 1.85, Cat, right? Caterpillar's reporting earnings this week, down 2.36, Snowflake down 2.39, software. So moving on to the swings, get a little more granular look at the markets here. Let's look at that. Now Bob is up 2.33, Skyworks up 2%. All right. General Mills is another staple. Okay, up 1.32%. TLT, that's your 20-year bond ETF, up 1.25%. People buying TLT today. Okay. All right, let's look at some laggards, and there's going to be a lot of them, so we'll just see how big a percent they're off. Whew. All right, Vertiv, well, this is a stock I own, which I don't like to see down 15.66%. All right, but that is what it is. I have a great price on it anyway. SoFi, SoFi. If Rosita's listening, your SoFi is down 13.84%. Okay. At ANET, I always get confused. I think it's Arista Networks down 2.97, or it could be Cloudflare. I'm pretty sure it's Arista. Marvel Semi down to 10.77. Taiwan Semiconductors down 10.16. SoundHound down 8.84. Supermicro Computers down 8.39. That's some energy company. Micron down, Oracle down, ASML down, ARM down, Dell down, OpenAI down. All right, I'm not going to go over all those. You could get the picture here. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the guts. And no surprise, right? Staples. Good old Staples that's been taking a beating. Okay. It's been taking a beating. Is getting people are going to flock to that. All right. Followed by healthcare. People are going to flock to that. People always get sick, unfortunately. So even in times of hardship. All right. So let's see. We got communications down 0.93. We got industrials down 1.11. We got utilities down 1.25. Interesting. Discretionary down 1.32. Technology, the heaviest weighted sector in the SP 500, down almost 4. It's down 4.01%. Semiconductors down 6.34. 3 point, well, it's moving on me. 6.38%. 6.38%. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's excuse me. Let's move on to some economic calendar, some news, which is a lot. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. All right. Now, if you look at the economic calendar, okay, today, Chicago Fed, and then you got new home sales at 10 a.m. Dallas Fed 10:30. Tuesday, we have let's see, consumer confidence, durable goods. Wednesday, 30-year mortgage, retail inventories, crude inventories, and you got FOMC on Wednesday. FOMC on Wednesday. All right, we're expecting a pause. Okay, Thursday, GDP, initial jobless claims, pending home sales. Friday, core PCE, the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation. All right, followed by some Fed speak and some more Fed speak that day. So big data coming out this week. Now, what do we have as far as earnings? Let's look at those together. So today, before the open, SoFi, AT&T, okay. After the close today, nothing really too exciting here. Before the open tomorrow, Boeing, General Motors, Lockheed Martin, Royal Caribbean, Raytheon, JetBlue. That's before the open, okay. And then throughout the week, like I said, Starbucks. Let's just talk about the big boys: Meta, Tesla, Microsoft, all after the close on Wednesday. On Thursday, you got Apple, Intel, Visa. All right, those are the big ones. Those move markets. So let's see. Let's just see here. All right, let's look at this together. All right, get back to news. So if we're gonna go to news, let's see if they updated anything. If not, I have news here anyway. All right, let's look at this. Nvidia stock slumped 12% with artificial darling hit by concerns that the model from Chinese startups Deepseek could necessitate less investment in infrastructure. All right. Also, Broadcom, we talked about this. Palantir, all of them slipped. Tesla stock fell 4.1%. With investors looking for more details on automakers' lower price model when it reports quarterly results on Wednesday, as some expect cheaper car to help the company hit its goal to increase delivery by up to 30%. AT&T stock rose 2.5 after the telecom's giant fourth quarter wireless subscriber growth surpassed expectations. Twilio stock fell 1.5 despite Goldman Sachs upgrading it. Let's see. Take Two stock fell 0.5. SoFi Technology stock fell 12% after the fintech company's financial outlook for the first quarter and year were a bit short of forecasts, even after CEO Anthony Noto deemed 2024 the fintech's best year ever. Interesting. Starbucks stock dropped 0.5 with the coffee chain set to report its fourth straight quarter of comparable sales decline. Coinbase stock fell 3.3 with the digital exchange weighed by a fall in the price of Bitcoin. All right, let's look at more news. Let's see here. We know we talked about this already, but Chinese AI startup DeepSeek overtakes ChatGPT on the Apple App Store. Chinese startup DeepSeek's AI assistant overtook rival ChatGPT to become the top-rated free application available on the Apple's App Store. Talked about that earlier. All right. Let's see here. Big oil is in no rush to drill baby drill this year despite Trump agenda. Wall Street expect U.S. oil and gas companies to keep a lid on spending in 2025 and keep their focus on generating shareholder returns despite calls by President Donald Trump to drill baby drill. Okay. We talked about the Colombia thing. Let's see if that's in here. It's not in there. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. We got dollar dropped against the yen as concerns about U.S. tariffs returned. In commodities, oil prices rose slightly as traders remain cautious, even though the U.S. eased off initial sanctions threats against Colombia. All right, talked about the Colombia thing. They denied illegals getting shipped back to them, caused a big uproar. Trump's threatening with tariffs. All right, let's look at anything else here. I think that's it. All right, I think that's it. The juice talks about the same stuff. Let's go to upgrades, downgrades, which probably don't matter much today with the big news and we're gapping down. But let's just look at this together. I'll go over this briefly here. Let's see here. Who's upgraded today? Take Two, Twilio, Waste Management, upgraded. Downgraded, let's see. DR Horton, Barrick Gold. So interesting. Barrick Gold keeps getting downgraded. Amazing with gold running, right? All right, now let's go to price target changes. We'll go to raises first. Twilio, Royal Caribbean target raised. We got Google target raised to 225. Let's see here. American Express target raised. Now we go to lowers. Omnicom Group, McCormick and Company. Let's see. That's about it. All right, and we're done with that. We're done with that. We went over earnings calendar. All right, I think we can move on to daily charts. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let's look at these daily charts together. All right. All right, so what do we do on Friday? Seems like it doesn't really matter right now, but we made all-time highs and rolled over a little bit, but didn't even take out the previous day's lows. What does that mean right now? Not much of anything. So where are we at now? 596.20. We are 596.20. We are right here around the 50-day moving average in the daily chart. Right here. Still above the anchored view up for the year. Okay. So that's where we're at. Let's look at futures. Look at that candle. Boom. You went all the way down to almost the 100-day moving average. Right. So in futures, I don't really count. This is anchored VWAP for the last year. I don't really count. That's where it's at now, but I don't really count that. So in futures, below the 50 still. Okay, nice wick here. Nice big wick. You were all the way down here, and now you're almost at the 50% of this move. All right. So very interesting. Where are we at? Last week's lows is here. So now we're above last week's lows. Okay, above last week's lows. We breached it big time, but now we're above it. Who knows how this is going to shake out? Let's look at the Qs. So the QC had a 3-day balance here. Very different than the SPY. Very different, right? Where are we at now? 511.50. All the way, boy, down here. So in Qs, below the 50, below the year anchored VWAP. So a lot weaker as far as structure. Okay, we're at last month's low. We're right above last month's lows, right? So wow, right? You're kind of like at this support of these two candles here. This is back in January 15th. That's where we're back at. Pretty nuts, right? All right, let's look at futures. Here's our futures. Big selling candle here, right? It's black on this chart, would be red in other charts. We ripped all the way down to here, got bought up. So we're above the 100-day. Last month's lows right here. We're way below last week's lows. See, in the ES, we are above last week's lows. In Nasdaq, obviously it's tech. They expect it to be weaker, right? We came all the way down with a wick right to these two wicks right here. Got bought up. So underneath the 50, right? 20, hit the 100-day. Very interesting today what's going to happen. Because either people are going to get super scared and want to sell, or this will be just in the past one day, but I don't know. That's big news. Okay, it's very big news. So we're moving on here, and that was your daily charts. I don't even know if I put that up. That was your daily charts. Now we're gonna go right into a triple-headed monster. Right, we look into that bond market. People are buying that bond market. All right. So here's our triple-headed monster. That's your bond, your dollar, and your VIX. All right, let's look at it. Look at this. We're in this range, and boom, getting sold. People buying bonds today. Okay, we hit this finally. This support I kept talking about, 4.51 yield. You lose that, you got 4.38 yield. Okay, interesting, right? Under the 20-day simple movage, under the anchored VWAP for the year. Let's see what shakes out here, right? This causes more fear. People are going to buy bonds. Okay. All right. Let's look at the dollar together. And that dollar got weak today. So you're pulling back in the dollar, right? You hit this kind of 110, and we're pulling back. Where could we go? 106.74 has support there. All right. Interesting because a weaker dollar is usually good for equities, usually good for commodities. So we have to see. We have to see. Right, so there's two things too with yields, right? It's like you want lower yields for people to buy risk assets, but also if the yields are going lower, also there could be bond buying because of fear. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there, I guess, a little bit. Let's look at our VIX. Our VIX, we're back up. Look at that. Boom. Big gap up in the VIX. We're at a 20.74. Remember, this is 30 days out. 30 days out, the VIX. And a 16 VIX is a 1% expected move plus or minus SP 500. We're at a 20.74. Expect some volatility today, which probably means I have to lower my risk, right? Accordingly, less lots. right? All right, we're moving on to the main event. Let's do it and check out how we're going to trade this insane market, right? Let's look at our market profile and volume profile. Big move down, right? And like I always like to show, the power of these levels, right? So, I mean, this is almost doesn't matter what happened on Friday. We have a pretty large gap down, right? Large gaps are hard to trade, okay? But this is the most traded price of this year and of the month, 59.88. See how the market came down past it? This is the most traded price, right, of the year and of the month. This is also your anchored VWAP for the month, which is the same thing as the year, okay? Came down, broke that, and came above it, and we're hanging out, no surprise, around the most traded price of the year and of the month. No shocker there, okay? So whenever we um, gap down this large, okay, the first thing you want to look at is the 50% retracement of the gap. So 60, 26, 75 is that retracement, right? And that's kind of lining up with the week to date VWAP, anchored VWAP right here, which remember the week just started. So, and you have the month to date VWAP here, which is also the year, the anchored VWAP for the year. So, very interesting. Very interesting. This is where I would expect the market to chill out right here. And it is. So, no shocker there. So, levels we have to talk about. All right. We have gaps, right? One gap up here, a second gap right here, and a third gap right here. So, what did the market do? This does not count of filling these gaps. That does not count. That has to happen during real-time trading hours. Does not count. But you can see we came right into this gap right here, got bought up. Now this whole thing is a big gap. So you got gaps over gaps, right? And very interesting, it held here. If you look to the left here, you can see support. There's another candle to the left. You can't see it, but there's support right there. Okay. I'm probably going to add a 90-day composite volume profile on the side. This is just a month. I think I'm going to add a 90-day just to give me another edge to see. Yeah, probably definitely going to add that. I mean, it will take me probably too long to do that in front of you guys, but I need to add that. I'm going to actually add that down to a note here. Add 90-day profile. Because it's good just to know, even though I do know what other charts I have, it's good to know on this chart when we do analysis to see, whoa, we got volume there, right? All right, so we know 60.26 is that. We know we're almost 100% net short, right, with the China Deepseek, right? And we have our big level of the year, 59.88. Anchor VWAP right here as well. Okay, so we have some supply here, here, and here. And we don't have demand yet, but I believe there probably is something in here now because we moved a little bit up. All right, so let's just look at this profile together and let's split it out. So you can see these are 30-minute bars, just sold, boom. And you probably got some demand around right here, around basically the most traded price of the year in the month. Okay, and you're pushing up. So let's see what really comes of this, right? Okay. Most traded price of the overnight is right here. It's right on it right now, 60.11. 60.11. Okay. You got thin volume right here. Thin volume. Okay. So, how am I going to look to play this? Let's get into some scenarios here. These are not easy to trade, these large gaps. Some large orders hitting the tape here. All right. Let's go with probably the bear scenario first. All right. Let's honor the bears. Okay. So our big level today, 59.88. Write that level down. 59.88, most traded price of the year, the month. Okay. And that's a rolling month, so it goes back to last year. But it's the most traded price of this year. Okay. That's a big level. Also have the month to date and year to date anchored VWAP, which is 59.83 here as well. Okay, that's the level you want to look at. And what I'm going to look at today is if we can set the value below or above it. Okay, so if I'm a bear, right, what I want to see, if we push through this level again and we start to hold and hold, find acceptance, we could take out the overnight low, 59.48, and try to fill this large gap. Where's that gap fill? 59. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that I get this level for you. We are talking 59.0950 is that gap fill. Okay, 59.0950. And then you got demand right here. So if you broke that, maybe you bounce in there. That, remember, I'm not expecting huge moves after this large move. Okay, but this could be a definite move, even probably come in here and bounce up. Possibly. Okay, possibly. So this is something. Now look, you have supply all the way up here. So if we came all the way up here, can this be a short? Yeah, but think about it. Like if we go all the way up here, how strong are sellers? Right? So that's kind of, this is more or less what I'm looking for. The only other thing, okay, that I would see that could be possible is in these very thin volume in the 60 26 75, the 50% retracement. That's probably the only other, because you got anchor view up for this week. If we pushed up here and started to get rejected in here because it's thin, if you get rejected, you could go and target this 59.88. I don't know how far we go past that. You might just hit the overnight lows. But like I said, I really want to gauge this 59.88. Now, bull side. I don't know how much bullish momentum there will be today. This is pretty negative news. Okay. So, price is here. Okay. Remember, we have 60.26. Okay. We have our large level of 59.88. Encompasses the anchor view up for the year and for the month. Okay. And price is right here, right? So, think about this. Remember, I said this is a huge bull bear line. So, what if the market kind of hits the 50%, pulls back, and starts to hold 59.88? Establishes value above it. You do have a shot at trying to push up through this thin volume and at least attempt to get into this supply. Okay, what's that supply start at? We're talking 60.72. Okay, if you break this, yeah, you could fill. Now, well, not fill the gap, but this is the overnight highs, 61.05, which is also supply. Do I think we get all the way up there? That would be pretty insane. Okay, but this is something, and that's probably the only thing I'm interested in. Okay, now the only thing. Let me preface this: if the market is all of a sudden like major bullish, major, I would, if we came up here and we kind of hit the supply and it's majorly bullish, then maybe I'm looking for a pullback. Okay, so that's the scenarios for the yes. All right, we can move on here. We can move on to the Nasdaq. Okay, big. We have to actually, I have to actually make this smaller here. Such a big move. Okay. All right, let's look at our levels here. Okay. So, your most traded price, let me make sure that I get this correct. Yes. Your most traded price of the year in the month is 213.50. Now, notice the big difference here. Okay? Let's talk about structure. Here is that level. Guess where price is? Below it. Right there. Around 211.14. 211.40. Okay, so that level, like I remember the 59.88 in the ES, the market's above that level. Well, in the NASDAQ, it's below. So it's structurally weak. Okay, structurally weak. Now, what also is here? Anchor V up for the year, 214.08, and Anchor VWAP for the month. So you have that going against you above this level. Okay, your midpoint, your 50% retracement of this move is 212.69 right there. So these kind of all clump together in the NASDAQ. Okay, all clump together. Now, if you look to the left, the support and this demand zone, the market bought it in here. Okay, the market bought it. And notice too, last week's lows lines up right in this area as well. Okay, a previous week's lows is down here, right there. Held the market. So structurally bearish, structurally bearish. Okay, so how are we gonna play this, right? Large gap, huge, 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 huge. I can't even. This is 1,010 point range. I mean, that's a monster. Okay, that is so big. So remember, and tech is the one getting hit by this, right? Now remember, even though stables are being bought, stables doesn't move the market. All right, so if tech's going down, the ES, S&P 500 will go down. All right, let's get into scenarios. Everybody with me? I hope everybody's understanding what I'm saying and I'm making sense. And if I don't make sense, ask a question, right? Leave a comment. All right. Now, we're going to get into the bears first. Bear side first. Remember, big important level, 213.50, right here, encompasses year-to-date anchor VWAP, month-to-date anchor VWAP, last week's lows, anchor VWAP for the week, and the 50% retracement of this move. And the price is below that. All right, so any attempt, and this is also a monthly, last month's lows, I believe, right here to, you know what, scratch that. That's not accurate. Let me get rid of those. Let me get rid of those. That won't be accurate, so we won't go with that level. Okay. Anyway, right here. So what do I want to see? Okay, what can happen? I would love to get right up in here, and the market. Okay, this is what's important about a level. If it can't find acceptance, which would be like this, above this level, it's bearish. So if the market, now acceptance, if it does this and goes back, that's not acceptance, right? And then if you start doing this, that's very bearish for the NASDAQ. And you could really start the free fall and take out these buyers, right? You could really start the free fall and go right down to the overnight lows of 207.63. Okay, take those out, come to the end of this demand. Okay, now you do have the most traded price is right here, 215.20. There's a supply zone there. Like I said, it depends how the market moves. I won't be crazy about shorting above this level. However, if you did come up in here, tried to go above this most traded price, gets rejected, you could get a target here and then free fall. That's really all I'm interested in as far as the short side. Okay, now as far as the long side here, same thing, big level, right? Big level. So two things here. Let's say this is the big level, right? 213.50. Now, of course, what do I want to see? I want to see if this market can get bought up and make its way up here. What do I need to see? Acceptance above this level. So if I get this, let's say even we go into the supply, sell off, but we catch support here. Higher low, higher low. This could move this market up. At least go to the overnight highs, 217.74. Possibly. Okay, now the only other thing, because the NASDAQ is relatively weaker, is if we, let's say we fall down here, but let's say when we come down here, the market isn't like super weak. Let's say it's just a real quick move. There's a big demand zone here. Okay. If the market is not like ridiculously weak, I would possibly be interested in buying a dip here. Maybe going up to here, right? I'm not crazy about it. Like I said, the data from the market for today will dictate if I'm interested in it or not, but I have to put it there. All right. That is it. That is it. That's the scenarios. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it, even if it's educational. Okay, even if it's educational. All right. Now every day I do this. Every morning, please join me. Sit with your boy. All right. Have a cup of coffee, tea, water, whatever it is. In your shower, in the drive to work. I'll give you the recap. You don't need to go anywhere else. All right. I'll give you the story of the markets. All right. I'll give you long and short trade scenarios. Might even drop a trading video, which I do owe you guys. Okay. So, if you enjoy my content, please smash that like button. That's much appreciated. That's much appreciated. Remember, again, I will post to my YouTube Shorts trading videos on X at Gonzo719. Also, Gonzo719 Trader on TikTok. And remember, guys, I have a Discord, Confluence Trading. Please come join the team. Okay? Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, come join. I will welcome you with open arms. All right, I'm trying to start a community there, eventually be full-fledged education, full-fledged everything. All right, but I just want more people, more interactions. I'll do more content. So, like, I'll give you an example for today, what I've been doing. Because I have some people that I know that come in. Okay, so today, what I will do before the market opens, or when the market opens, right? I will post gamma levels, gamma exposure levels from the app I created. Okay. If anybody has a request, you could possibly do one request for a gamma level, and I will give you that. Okay, just one, because it could get flooded. All right. I'm not sure if you know how gamma levels work, but it's always good to know them. Okay. That's what I'll give you. I will give you the market internals. All right, my bread and butter market internals, and I will periodically update those. Okay, and now just to give you a glimpse of what that is, it's right there. This is my bread and butter. This is how, which sets every trade up for me. This tells me the strength of the market. Okay, this tells me everything I want to know what the market is capable of. Okay, now if you join and you go to education and market internals, I have a video. What I pinned there, that explains how I use market internals. And again, why I'm showing you that is I post that throughout the day. Now also, I will give an analysis from the open, and I will post that to see what I'm seeing. Okay, and throughout the day, I'll let you guys know what I'm seeing. I also will put the key levels for today. So, like I said, and if there's any comments or things you have questions about, there's a question channel. Just ask a question or give me a suggestion to make it better. So please come join. All right? Please come join. All right, everybody. That is it for me today. Everybody have a great day. We have our plans. Let's stay green. Remember, no trade's a trade. I'll see everybody tomorrow.